Okay, so we're going to take a look at arithmetic sequences. So far, we've been talking about what's been happening in 8th grade, which is linear equations. So we're going to jump into 9th grade and use your knowledge for linear equations to talk about arithmetic sequence. They're very, very similar with one distinct difference. And as we watch this video, know that that's the thing or the question that I'm going to ask you. What is the difference between linear equations and arithmetic sequences? So we're making the jump from 8th grade into 9th grade. So we're going to begin with the first one. Write the missing numbers in the sequence. So we're looking at this sequence. It goes 74, then I don't know, 92, 101, blank, 119. You can probably intuitively figure out what these numbers are, but I'm just going to go jump right into it and look at how we can find it. So if I was to make this a table, so go ahead and draw this table out as well for me. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we're going to go ahead and put bars in the middle of every number, just like that. This is going to be my x, and this is going to be my y. What number do you think you would put here? I would put the number 1. Why? Because this is my first value. What number do you think you'd put here? I'd put the number 2. Why? Because this is my second value. What number do you think you'd put here? The number 3. Why? Because this is my fourth value. What number would you put right here? My 4, because it's my fourth value, and so forth. And so right now, I've taken a sequence and I've made it a table, something that we have dealt with in class. As always, as I do my question, you're going to do your question. Do not draw this into a table. Just go ahead and do it in the calculator. I'm just visually showing you what I'm doing. So I'm going to put this into a table. So if I want to put a table in the calculator, what do? I put the plus sign, I put table, and then I input my x values and I input my y values. So here I'm going to input 1. And then I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to press 2, enter. And you see as I press enter, it's going to automatically fill that out. So I'm going to do it until I get to 6. Okay. Now, these values in here are what? 74. Is there anything here? No, that is a blank. We cannot have blanks, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So you can save yourself some time and just put in the ones that have a number for both x and y. So 3 goes with 92. 4 goes with 101. 5 goes with blanks, so I can't have any blanks because I'm going to have an error, so I'm going to delete that. 6 goes with 119. So now I have a table inputted. Now we've talked about the long way of doing this, which is typing y equals mx plus b and changing two things. Now we're going to switch to the shortcut, and hopefully they don't take that away from me. So mx plus b. All right, so usually we change this to 1, 1, 1, 1, and the squiggly line, right? But now we're going to talk about this shortcut. I'm going to call this button right here a flag. What that, it gives you a linear equation. And if I wanted a different type of equation, here are the rest of them. The key thing is you have to make sure that it goes through all your points. So here on the left-hand side, you should have a magnifying glass. Press that real quick, and then make sure it goes through each and every one of your coordinates. If it does, then you know that it is a linear regression. And so we know that once we have our linear equation, we can find any missing term. So if I want to find term 2, all I have to do is first copy the equation, which I can click this real quick, or I can write it down. So I can copy this equation, or I can click this little notepad. Once I do that, I'm going to click here and then table. Now I can put in any value that I want. In order, because this is going in order, the faster way would just be to come to the end and then press enter, 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 enter like that. Now, if you want, you can type in the numbers that you also want. So now I can go ahead and fill in these values here. So please go ahead and fill in 2 goes with what number? Fill that in right there. 5 goes with what number? Fill that in right there. All right, go ahead and pause the video right now and then do the same process for your pattern. I want to know what this number is and what this number is. Now that you've done that, I want you to intuitively do this. What that means is this is figure 1, this is figure 2, this is figure 3. Please draw figure 4. And then right here, so I can come and check, write down the number of dots that are in figure 4. So you might ask, but Miss Amy, what are we doing linear equations again? And the whole title is arithmetic sequences. Now I'm going to show you how to go from linear equations into arithmetic sequence. And I'm going to go ahead and say this now. This is going to be the thing that I keep asking you over and over. What is the difference between linear equations and arithmetic sequences? And this is what I want you to say. Linear equations start at 0, whereas arithmetic sequences starts at 1. So go ahead and copy that down in your notes. It's going to be very, very important. If you can highlight it, color it, please go ahead and do so. Linear equations, they start at 0. Arithmetic sequences start at 1. So our starting point on a linear equation is always 0. So a linear equation, as you can see, for any given x value, there is a y value. And this can be even in between. Like, so what I'm saying is, this can be the point 1.4 and 77.6. This can be 2.02 and 83.18. So linear equations start at 0, and they can also have all values, whereas arithmetic sequences, they start at the number 1, and they can only have the values outlined. Notice x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X is not 1.5. It can't have this. So if I was to draw a sequence, what I would have to do is draw just the dots. So this would be a sequence because I can't have 1.5. I can't have something in the middle here. So this is a sequence. This is called discrete. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And my spelling might be also double check. Discrete in math. So it's called discrete when you don't join up the lines. Whereas a linear equation or a linear function can be continuous. And continuous means you join the dots because I can have 1.47 and 78.23. So linear equation starts at 0 and then writes and can be continuous. All right, so once again, please understand the difference. So linear function starts at 0 and they can be continuous, meaning you join the line, you can have everything everywhere. Whereas arithmetic sequence, you do not join the line because you can't have the middle. You can't have these middle parts. Okay, in math, when you cannot join the line, you call it discrete. And when you can join the line, you call it continuous. Now, you're going to be very careful because obviously in this class, Desmos is always going to join the line for you. But you have to think through, can I join the line? Can I have 1.4 books? No. So I can't join the line. Therefore, it looks like this.
Let's practice.